doing, and this is where we've come. So now I see why people are upset. Like you're saying about, we're not too far off. Like the people that are angry at this, like I'm angry at it too, and that's why I tell the joke.
No, I'm with you on that, man.
And I want these people to be remembered, because I know in their darkest, grimmest moment that a lot of them are nameless still, and there's ways to find it. And I'd like to think that in their darkest, horrorest moments, there's still laughter happening from their terrible tragedy.
Yeah.
And people are remembering it. We've done more for the missing and murdered Indigenous women than any activist in Canadian history.
Okay, and there's also, dude, a lot of connection to like the elites with that situation.
So, Piggy's Palace was a private after-hours club at the Picton Farm. Anybody, it was a place called Piggy's Palace. It was an after-hours club.
How doesn't anyone show up and off this motherfucker?
So,
Like, dude, like,
his family,
give me a reason.
The Picton family is incredibly powerful, incredibly connected, and our leader used to live not too far from Piggy's Palace, and anybody who's anybody in the late 80s and 90s was fucking partying at that place. They had raves, they had heavy metal groups, you name it. Like, it was like a fucking club, but wasn't beholden to the BC liquor laws, as it were.
That is incredible.
What was Robert Picton's mom again? She was associated with the Canadian government in
Oh
some
yeah,
form.
she's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful family. And we had the premier of BC do a press conference.
He's getting out, dude.
That's
That's why he's going to be up for parole. Whether he gets out or not, we don't know, but that's why he's up for parole. That's the same reason why Hinckley gets out.
Yes.
Because
Wow.
Hinckley is a Bush.
Yeah.
He's on the George Bush's family. Like he calls George Bush Sr. Uncle George.
Yeah.
And that's why he was allowed to use the criminally insane, the insane plea. And then the guy who shot, what's his face from the Beatles?
Mark David Chapman.
That's why he wasn't allowed to.
No.
Because Hinckley was a Bush.
Wasn't one
and
of the
that's why
golden
this
people.
guy, if he gets out, I wouldn't be surprised, dude. I mean,
I'll make this picture happen.
Yeah, I'm with and doubling down. There we go. Hey, man, stay in it, dude. But so it's just like Toronto that's carrying Trudeau?
No, so
It's manufactured. He is a puppet of the world regime, and it's not legit. It's not legit. Everybody hates the guy. He can't go anywhere without
I know that.
a 40-man security detail, 30 vehicles. Everywhere he goes, he is shouted down.
have you heard of his new Bill C-63 thing?
Hold on. It just got popped that the Chinese were interfering with our elections too. Like CSIS just dropped a report with was it the 2016 election?
Yeah, 2019, the 2019 election. Yeah.
That
and the
Chinese
20
were meddling with our
The
elections.
Chinese logged in to meddle, and they found out the Canadians were already meddling with the elections. That's what happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Bill C-63, that's the internet hate speech.
Dude, this is insanity.
Yes, and it's like fine you $70,000. You can get life. You can get reported.
Life?
You can get reported for
crazy.
comments you made 10 years ago on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, the $20,000 reward for snitching out. And this is all being like our prime minister is pushing it. The governor general, who is a figurehead, who is supposed to stay neutral, just had a huge benefit talking about this. And there is no definition of hate speech. I dare you to define a statement as a comedian as an example of hate speech. Like, I'll say this, and that is defined as hate speech.
Right, 100%.
You can't.
And then you get into if one person says it's hate speech, if the next person says the exact same thing.
Did you like that somebody said something? That starts getting into it's,
so now we're in full on like Mao China right now.
we are living it right now,
Yeah,
Sam.
Canada has.
Yeah, it has fallen, and a long time ago too. This isn't anything new. They just implemented it, and in 2020.
It's not passed yet, this part of it.
No, but we are going to be at the. Well,
Affects what they're saying, and it's thrown in their face constantly. These same people are like, When you ask them, should children be allowed to get face tattoos? They'll be like, no.
Should they smoke?
But should they get able to get gender reaffirming surgery? Yes.
Not only should they be able to get it, should the government pay for it? I mean, we
And
did that story on Broken
The Canadian
Sim.
government is paying for it right now.
That's crazy, dude. We did that story on Broken Sim yesterday about now in Ontario, they're going to have to pay for people who want to have both genitalia.
Oh my God.
You don't even have to leave the house that way.
You can still do it that way. No,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that would
You-
hurt.
How long
dude,
is this thing, first of all?
it's how long? I mean, how much you paying for? We got different packages.
As Brett says, you get what you pay for with the government.
Yeah.
And it's pretty.
And it's
pretty
never
grim.
good.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine.
And that's when I get into,
Well,
when
you get it. I should say you get it done in Austin, Texas. Apparently, the procedure they're paying for you to come.
So
to
Canada,
Austin.
you go to America.
Yeah, they're paying.
Guys, I got how you're getting out of Canada. Okay.
619. We can just do 6T9. Hey,
So Trudeau labels everybody a Nazi.
Yes.
Then
Invites.
recognizes a Nazi, and everyone thinks it's a giant mistake, and you know it's not, right?
Absolutely not.
It's
You
a-
vet anybody that comes through those doors is thoroughly vetted. Your whole life history goes through.
They did that to demoralize everybody.
Yes.
This is exactly what's happening.
Being able to be
What they're doing now is they're making it so that everybody is beholden to the same rules as a major corporation. And that way, if you're just a podcaster with 10 viewers, you got to pass standards and practices just the same as.
Unbelievable,
it's
bro.
insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Unbelievable.
There's another piece of it too, where they're going to hold you to the same standards as the CRTC in Canada. So, like, if you you watch our television when you come up there, right? And
I try not to.
Yeah, it's not that great, but it has to be 60%
Too much hockey, dude.
Whoa.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
boy,
just
they love that guy
33%.
Cherry too. He's on everything.
So our radio and all that has to have 33% Canadian content, and they're going to want to do that with like our Netflix and YouTube and whatnot.
Go on.
Yeah, so it's coming down the pipeline, I think, where it's going to be like podcasts. I know there's like a prolific YouTuber that's really fighting against it right now, JJ McCullough, and he's been trying to rally up content creators up in Canada to like push back against this. And they just like, all they do is just keeping it like nice and gray. Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be Canadian content, but they won't tell you what deems it to be Canadian content.
The language is so vast
Yeah, it's
and
meant to be vague.
well open to interpretation.
100%.
They'll just it's selective. It's selective enforcement.
For radio, there's 4 categories. Is it written? Is it performed? Is it produced? And the location. So it has to make 2 out of those 4 things for it to be deemed Canadian. So all Rogan would have to have on is Tom Green, and that is a performance check and a written check, and then that's a Canadian episode. Right today is a Canadian episode. You would comply.
But the rest of my episodes wouldn't.
No, unless somehow you could justify that a Canadian helped in 2 of those
I don't know
areas.
why anybody would be okay with that. I don't like.
Well, that's on the ground. Are people okay with this? I don't understand. Like,
So people like us and people that come to our shows, like we went to the Coots border during the trucker convoy. We were the only comedians in Canada to openly support that because
He performed right on the border to Americans and Canadians at the same time out of the back of a
nice.
truck. It was kind of cool.
It's called the Coyote.
yeah.
A what?
It's called a what?
So
Coyote on both of them are Coyote.
Cute.
Coyote
Yeah,
term. I like that.
Yeah, I love that Canadians are talking to Mexicans about really crazy to me.
it's government
Really?
government funded.
I wouldn't. Yeah, so is our.
But the
Chinese
average
boy.
person, though, you were saying, like, where are they falling on this? Because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of pushback, really, right?
No, because we're not uncomfortable anymore. When the convoy happened, we weren't allowed to go into restaurants. We had nothing to lose, so it didn't matter. But now they've given it back, sort of. But we aren't eligible for to receive organ donations in our own country. Yeah, a father of 5 died because
Yeah.
he wouldn't take the shot.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
And so it's still going on, but it's not as visceral as it was during the trucker convoy because that was like the country came together. It scared the shit out of the politicians.
Yeah, and
Like-
here's the whole thing, dude. Again, it goes back to these
Terrified them.
the how diabolical it is that they fucking herded us all into these big cities.
Yes.
Right? And what happens now is like you're no longer making money off your farm. You're no longer making money off your mom and pop stores. You now all the jobs are in corporations.
Yes.
And you are beholden to the corporation and what the corporation says. And if you want to move up or down and you want to make more money in your life, you better play fucking ball. You better get the vax, have your pronouns, think fucking your history is racist, and you better fly that freak flag everywhere you go, or else you're never going to get a promotion. And even if you don't believe in it, you got to play the game.
The lip
and
service.
this is where you end up trapped.